familiar with earlier editions will notice a change in this edition in the words applied to women's private parts. I've spent a lot of time thinking about the power and influence of these words and the attitudes that we have towards them. Generally speaking, the more comfortable a woman is living in her body, the more easily she gives birth. Unfortunately, women are quite likely to absorb negative cultural attitudes about their private parts during early childhood. Vaginas are supposedly dirty, a false notion, by the way, and somehow lesser than the male organ. Many women grow up with the notion that their dirty organ is better left nameless. I think this is a bad idea. There is a long list of terms for the female member. Some prefer vagina as the most appropriate word, while others reject it because of its whiff of clinical detachment or their dislike of its Latin meaning, sheath. Some have introduced the Sanskrit word yoni into English usage, disliking both vagina and the entire long list of colloquial terms because of the pornographic or derogatory connotations they carry for some. As a student of words, my university degrees are in English, I tend to resist being told what words to use or not to use for my body parts. I don't want to be restricted to having only a vagina or a yoni, because all of the words are considered too vulgar to be spoken or written. There is nothing vulgar about my body, and if some words suggest the opposite to many people, I think they need to hear these words proudly spoken and see them written enough that innocent words no longer possess such a crazy-making power over us. I just might want to have a cunt one day and a twat the next. On the third day, I might decide that pussy is my favorite word. Cunt, by the way, has an interesting meaning. Wedge. It's the triangular shape of the pubes that suggested the word. The same word root is used to describe something as non-sexual as the wedge-shaped writing of the Babylonian clay tablets, which was called cuneiform writing. Should we be excited about that? If a woman finds that a certain word makes her feel repulsed about her body, the question becomes how to deal with that feeling. One way is to avoid the word or to try to keep other people from using it. This method was very much in vogue as late as 1961, when it was actually illegal for the word cunt to appear in print. Eric Partridge's A Dictionary of Slang and Unconventional English listed the word as C*NT. Had the late Sir James Murray courageously included the word, Partridge explained, and spelt it in full in the great OED, the situation would be different. As it is, neither the Universal Dictionary of English, 1932, nor the SOD, 1933, had the courage to include it. Yet the OED gave prick. Why this further injustice to women? I don't think that men have a long list of words for their private parts that makes them feel embarrassed about themselves. With all this in mind, I have decided to undertake a new experiment in this edition of Spiritual Midwifery. With the hope of helping women to proudly reclaim all the words that refer to their reproductive organs, I will use various terms that did not appear in previous editions of the book. This is because I like dealing with language so that it works for us rather than against us. I'll be happy to listen to your feedback about this experiment in changing our attitudes about our bodies in a positive way. When the first editions of Spiritual Midwifery were published, there was no certification for midwives who entered the profession without first becoming a nurse. My partners and I are now certified professional midwives, a credential which is administered by NARM, the North American Registry of Midwives. As has been usual in earlier editions, I have updated the statistics at the back of the book to reflect recent years of practice. May Gaskin, CPM. Quote from Stephen Gaskin. Once at a Zen Center picnic in Golden...